327. Okay. Oh, take my time. Oh, let me rewind it for 5 seconds. Hold on. Oh, anymore. Da da da. Have I messed it up? Sorry, fam. I was going to press play. Carry on. There you go. All right. Tell your friends that we're going to be live very soon. Just need to post this thing. Story. Give me 4 seconds, family. Story, image, there, stem, da, 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 and share. Very dangerous. There you go. All right. Da, 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 da. Yep, it's all working good. All right. Welcome, family. Tell a friend. Well, I big up Brother Leon, Brother Dominic. Very important contribution to the Black Bear broadcast. Very important. Members of the community. Big up. All right. Let's see what we can do today. So we're going to present our PDF as we do week to week. So, and I believe if I'm correct, this is where, oh, that's right. They changed it, didn't they? Choose window, I think it was, isn't it? Am I wrong? This new technique they do. Last week it got me, share window. I get it. Works quick. Nice. All right, family. Welcome to the 227th show. That's not bad. 227 attempts at helping our community. Just need to find this thing to remove. Where do you find that thing, man? Here we go. Hide show preview. There you go. No, not that one. Sorry, family. I'm trying to get rid of this side thing. Technology. Review. Read mode. There you go. Boom. Voila. All right, family. Don't forget, it's a very important show today. Tell a friend. We're live. Don't forget to follow the Black Bear and Building Instagram. Do a very poor job of promoting it, but you should still follow it. And tell a friend, be a friend. Big up Stanley Cross. Let's go for that. There you go. Boom. Put that in there. All right. So as we're going to start, as we always start, very important you understand this. The triple tragedies are white supremacy, anti-Black racism, and the Ma'afa. These are three terrible things that seem to have really damaged the Black community. And what happened is because of these three things, today we are lumped with the double dilemma, which is we are despised and we're disorganized, unfortunately. But not to worry too much because we have a solution, and that is Black Betterment. The single solution is Black Betterment, which is a lifestyle of Black people continuously helping Black people. And that's what we do here. This show is for us, you, the community. And we will go the direction we need to go to make sure we improve. And, you know, whether we have 1 follower or 1 million, this is for the community. And hopefully others can do the same thing. All right. So what we're dealing with. We always focus on Black families, Black economics, and Black health. And we're going to really untangle the Black economics today. We're going to have like a branch of that for how to gradually get there. And yeah, so that today was more of a Black economics kind of thing day. All right. So the link has been sent out, it's pinned up. But when you jump in, you're always welcome, family. Please remember discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. Very important. Whenever it comes to helping our community, there's many anxiety triggers, and we're actually going to unpack some of them today for you. So try to be respectful, try to have discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment, and that way you will minimize any anxiety that might happen when you're talking to the community. All right, fantastic, good. Try not to use any derogatory language if possible. Please try to use descriptive language, and by all means you can you can pause the screen at the moment in the future time and see what words you can. Matter of fact, it's interesting enough. One of the words, this N word here, we're going to unpack today. This N word, yeah, that shouldn't. This new functionality shouldn't highlight, copy and paste. Oh, it does. What are you going to do? Yeah. So this new word here, this N word, not new word, old word. We're going to unpack that today as part of our topic. All right. So what is the topics? This is not. This is mad. Yeah, that was last week. This week, there you go. The importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping. Join our community discussion on the benefits of gatekeeping. Hurrah, hooray. And then obviously Black children in STEM. What is STEM? Join our community discussion on the benefits of getting Black children into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Should put dots there, really, but whatever. Next time. STEM, that's what it stands for. So what we're going to do, we're going to start as we always start. Going to go to some random videos, talk about them while people get ready to come in and get comfortable. And then we'll jump on. I think we might start. Which one should start on first? Should we start on I'll let you vote. We can either do the STEM one or we can do the gatekeeping one. One's obviously uplifting, kind of positive. The other is concerned to be aware of. Well, we'll see how it goes. But before we do all that fantastic, I hope this is not tracking. That'll get me very angry if it starts tracking. Let me shut down my Photoshop. Hold on. So I got a lot of things up. My machine should be super powerful, but it's not as it was. Let me close every other software, because back in the days the machine was tracking. That was never good. All right, let's see if we can open. What we do. So today we're dealing with. Yeah, let's see what we have. So let's see this random topics that we start, this random videos that we give our Black Betterment perspective. Well, I saw this was never nice to see. I saw this in Canada. Just
missing Black boys in the Toronto area to tell you about.
A staggering amount of Black boys have gotten missing. There's a serious problem happening in Toronto. I got another flyer sent to me from the Missing Persons Society of Canada website this morning of another boy that's gone missing.
We now know there are 6 confirmed names currently missing in the Toronto area. Toronto police have confirmed that the 4 boys missing from the city are 13-year-old Kimani, 15-year-old Caleb, 15-year-old Malachi, and 17-year-old Mackay. Now, east of the city, Durham Regional Police told us here at the BG Show that 2 boys are missing in their region. Their names are Michael, who is 15, and Aiden, who is also 15 years old. Of course, many people still feel very uneasy about why this is happening, but one activist who helped organize a town hall earlier this month gave us some insight.
Since the town hall, and David Mitchell and the other police services from around the GTA provided some real insight and data that supports the fact that, you know, they weren't being taken out of their homes. And I think that was something that at least alleviated some of the stress.
On top of that, Andre said he will be hosting an upcoming town hall at Brampton City Hall on January 23rd. In the meantime, BG Squad, let's continue to leave some love and support for the kids that are missing in the comments, and also for the families that are affected.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Canada, but since we're a lot of Black boys seem to be missing, so I hope they sort that out. Hopefully they're okay. I don't know if they know each other, but yeah, they were concerned, so they came together. So I saw that, just thought I'd put it on there. We tackle issues all around the world in the Black community. What's this one? Uni. That's a good one. What's this one? Nope. No, I don't see that one. Oh, you know what? Let me actually rename that. Rename that 01, because that's important. 01, because I'll cover that later. What's this one? Missing. Oh, that's missing Black boys. What's this? It's always good to hear Nearly Full. Let's see what he says.
Premises teach Black people to do what? To pour show-offisms. It's in the code book. And that's showing off to each other, all right? And showing off what we have and whatnot, and the little trinkets that they give us, the diamond rings and whatnot. I mean, and Black people are suffering who are digging those diamonds. But they don't know anything about that. The average Black person got no idea of where diamonds come from. They just know that, hey, it's shiny. Look at me. I got it. Okay, you got it. You're Black and you got a diamond ring. Now, what does that mean on the world scale? In the eyes of the white supremacists, that means absolutely nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Absolutely nothing. They say, we got tons of them, boy. We got truckloads of diamonds. You know, we got mountains of diamonds. And you around here flashing your little cheap diamonds you got from us.
Yeah.
And we charge you an arm and a leg for it. And you're strutting around where? In the ghetto with your little diamond, thinking that you are big time. You are a stone N-word to the nth degree. And we have made you that. And this is how Black people are. See, they have made us nothing but babies.
Okay.
Nearly Full of telling you there about, the quest for jewelry and stuff, and, it's how it boosts self-esteem. Very important message there from Brother Nearly Fuller Jr. What else we got? Africans come together. That's a nice one. There's 2 African ones. Let me play this one first. Hold on.
If all of Africa could come together, if the entire continent could come together. But our reality is, because of the stronghold that France has on Africa, France can destabilize any of its former colonies with the push of a button. So the reality is trying to push back against France is mission impossible at this time, which is why we are very pleased that finally the African heads of states were able to come together and agreed on what we are calling the African Continental Free Trade Area. You got to understand, back in 1963, when our Pan-African leaders came together and created the Organization of African Unity, they were trying to undo the damage done by the Berlin Conference. But unfortunately, when they went to Addis Ababa, they were divided. We had the Casablanca group, who were Ghana, Guinea, Mali, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. They were outnumbered by the others, who were the nationalists, who said, let's go slow. The Casablanca group, who said, Africa for the Africans, at home and abroad, African Union now. Had we won, had the Casablanca group won in 1963, Africa would be in a very different place, because all these borders would have been eliminated back then. They came up with a compromise, which we are calling Organization of African Unity. Year in, year out, for 55 years, the African heads of states met. The issue of an Africa speaking with one voice, one continent, one Africa was tabled, and year in and year out, we failed to reach consensus until last year, March 2018, when they finally agreed that enough is enough. Africa must speak with one voice. Africa must enter the world stage as one customs union, as one continent, speaking with one voice. That is the only way that Africa can begin to take her rightful place on the world stage. So it's been a lengthy process, thanks to the legacy of colonization.
Sister, they're just unpacking, what the intention was, but it didn't quite work out. And yeah, we definitely want to work with brothers and sisters, and that was 2018 back then. Yeah, the value of that kind of like Africa of no borders strategy there. Try to work together, the African Union, all that good stuff. But yeah, it has been working, and that's one of the issues. Unfortunately, getting the act together. Pan-Africanism was really trying to focus on Africa, making sure Africans strong. Because if Africans strong, that makes Africans home on the abroad are strong. But there have been some challenges, and the system was highlighting it there. All right, what else we got? Let's see. Got a few. There might be. This is I saw an acting one about Africa as well. Where is it? Africa come together. USA versus. Here we go. This actor was saying how.
I'm trying to make a living.
After 30 years in this business.
I've been in this business and making films now over 2 decades, and still, with 2 Oscar nominations, many big blockbuster films, and yet I'm still struggling financially to make a living. I'm definitely underpaid.
How has Hollywood changed in terms of African representation in what you see since you started out to what's being produced now?
I was nominated for a Golden Globe, but they ignored me for the Oscars, talking about the fact that they thought that I just came off the boat and off the streets. Even though I successfully did that, they just didn't feel like I was an actor for whom we should pay any respect to. So this conceptual idea of diversity, it still has a long way to go. Systemic racism don't change like that anytime soon.
Growing up, you're one of the first big black actors I saw in big budget films. So it's mind-boggling to me.
But that's a sign for you that systemic racism is not something that you can deal with lightly. You have to cope with it and survive the best way you can.
Look, bro, there you've seen a few films. I think Shazam, and was he in 12 Years a Slave? I don't know if he was in that one. Something. I've seen him in a few films. Big up, brother Kojo.
Raven, my teacher, my inspiration. I love what you're doing. I feel like this racism is coming stronger amongst black people in wherever you go in the system. And it's sad for what he's going through. I feel like the racism is, you just don't see in Hollywood, you just don't see it behind the scene, but it's in your face, but you just, it's just everywhere, baby. I just feel like, damn, man, what's going on?
Yeah, thank you very much, brother Kojo. Very shocking, yeah. So this is what we're saying about, Tyler Perry and Nollywood and the Ghanaian version. I think there needs to be a value of trying to like create content, create media, and then actually trying to build for yourself and then sell to yourself, and that way create a demand so you don't necessarily have to rely on Hollywood or other industries. You know, there is a big disparagement in wages. I think we should do a deep dive in that, like the wages and stuff. But either way, regardless of the wages is or isn't, I do think that the motivation to do for self is important. I also have Black Betterment at the heart of it. So, because we saw in America when Black people first got the right to, I guess, some form of freedom to make films, whatever. A lot of it was what they call blaxploitation. I think there was a brother who made a joke about that today in the thing, about a different context. But yeah, there was a lot of blaxploitation. You want to have like a good, healthy balance. Big up Empress Christie, cosmetics very important. And big up RGB Tech 16 as well. So yeah, so this is the thing. Creating your own industry is important. It's a must. Let's see if there's any more videos before we jump into the two fantastic topics. Let me see. No actors. We've done that one. What is this one? This is, is this, what? Let me put this as O1 as gate. I'm just going to rename these because this actually works for the gatekeeping as well, maybe. So let's make sure, yeah, I can put that there. And Africa, rename. Very important. 01. That might be a good. I've got a lot of stuff here. We've got a lot of it. You might think we should start the show because, well, we get loads of videos here. Is there one more movie fuller one? There's what last one that we'll move on. This is similar things. Hold on.
Family. So remember when I told you?
This society sort of depends upon us getting emotional. One of the best ways to frighten white folk is to be unemotional with them.
Eurocentric societies are emotionally driven. They drive the oppressed people by their emotions, whether it's through movies, through songs, etc. They want to control you by your emotions and your connections to certain things.
No. If you don't calm down, we'll never show you what.
Yeah, that's okay. Calm down.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It says a woman breaks down in happy after getting improved for the Hermes. Is it a bargain or something?
Yes. You don't know what is
it. But it goes even deeper than that. It goes deeper than our love for the materialistic things. It even goes into social media.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. How?
The CIA agent explains how the government baits, there's a logo over it, and tricks mentally unwell social media users into committing crimes they wouldn't normally commit. Oh, it's a designer bag. Okay, yeah, it's good to know the sisters know that. I don't know that. So yeah, so I think the sister was very happy to get that bag or something, just to control. But anyway, and this goes on to showing this other stuff. But let's I'm gonna skip this. Big up the brother for posting this, and big up brother Wilson as well. Let's now go to the thing. Let me go to the back. That way you go. So today's topic: the importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping, or Black children in STEM. So the Black children in STEM is something we need to definitely go over more. It's probably a quicker topic, so maybe to start there might be. So for those, have I got a picture of it? Yeah. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and I think getting our children young to these kind of things is very important. It will open up the opportunity for them to have more direction on where the community goes. They'll be doing things. We don't know the future jobs, but by having these particular skills, they'll be the ones doing them. They'll be leading. So things like algorithms are coming in. Well, the algorithms are not controlled by the Black community. So whatever algorithms or AI is coming in, the chance that it might not necessarily be pleasant or beneficial to Black people. But also in general, we don't generally see an interest in STEM stuff. But let me play some videos and see. They're quite shortish. So let me see which ones I've got. So let's start with the STEM one. And we deal with what's this? What's it? There must be like what is STEM? Yeah, here we go. Let's listen to what is STEM, just so you know what it is, so we're not just waffling.
What is STEM?
Hey.
STEM is not just a subject at school.
You
It's
know?
a way of thinking and doing, and an important skill set that could see your generation working together to solve some of the world's greatest challenges. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering and mathematics.
Yep.
But it's not about being an expert in all of those things. Instead, it's about harnessing the essential, transferable skills behind them. Scientists know how to hypothesize, experiment, analyze, and evaluate what they discover. Technology can make our lives better. Designers of all sorts work together to make everyday tasks more effective and more fun. Engineers don't just wear hard hats. They are problem solvers that work on some of the world's biggest challenges, like creating bionic limbs for people with disabilities or exploring outer space. Mathematics teaches us how to quantify data and how physics rules the world around us. With mathematics, we can implement change and minimize error. You won't have to master all of these skills either. Teamwork is an essential STEM skill. Take the search for new energy sources, for example. Geologists and geophysicists search for gas deposits. Engineers help you design and run platforms and processing plants. Construction teams work to build essential infrastructure under the supervision of project managers, and environmental scientists work with everyone, every step of the way. Playing to your strengths and working in a team will have you creating a greater impact than if you were working alone. It would cost the Australian economy $9.3 billion in lost productivity, profitability, and employee satisfaction. STEM skills are useful to almost every career. 75% of today's fastest growing careers require STEM skills, and 82% of today's employees say they value STEM skills even if they're not required for the job. STEM skills can even unlock your potential to earn a higher salary or become more employable. You don't have to earn a university degree in STEM to be successful either. There are plenty of courses to get you started in STEM. But we don't have enough STEM graduates to meet demand. Numbers show the demand for STEM careers has grown 79% since 1990, but enrolments in STEM degrees are at an all-time low compared to the last 20 years. And despite the job opportunities, just 16% of STEM professionals are women. STEM careers can start small, then change the world. Engaging in your high school STEM classes or learning to code could be your first step to delivering driverless vehicles to the roads. Starting a research project at home or entering a science competition could see you defeating cancer with a cure. And that's just the beginning. We don't yet know what kind of jobs will exist 10, 20, 30 years from now. But with STEM, you're prepared for anything. How will you shape the future with your STEM skills?
Yeah, here you go. STEM. So that's, if those who know, that's what STEM is. I mean, a lot of us, you know, we came from different places or we have different careers. So, I mean, some of us, it might not even be necessary. We don't necessarily guide our children what they should be doing. Some cultures, you know, they be like, be a lawyer, be a doctor, which is cool. But also technology, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You know, these are things that can guide the way. So I definitely recommend. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I just feel like it was just repeating itself. You know, we just feel like going to school, then you go to work, and it's just following the footstep. You know what I mean? I just feel like I want to do something different. You know what I mean? Rather than follow my dad's footprint, I want to do my own blueprint. You know, it's just conditioning that we've been told. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's good insight there. I mean, sometimes parents might actually have some kind of craft that they pass down. That sounds amazing. But sometimes that maybe not. They do what they can to get by, and no one really taught them about certain careers that might be future beneficial. And we definitely see a value in science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You'll be finding solutions for the world. So definitely, let's look at another video now. This is a UK-based one, I believe. I think it's more about teachers and stuff, but let's see what they're saying. Oh, no.
My name is Anne-Marie Maffedon and I run non-profit STEMETS.
Let me read it. It says, in the UK, 84.2% of classrooms, the teachers were white British. Only 2.4% of the teachers' workforce is black. That's quite low. But then I guess with 4 points, okay, fair enough. The impact of this significantly lowers representation in STEM projects. All right.
Black people are incredibly creative. So STEM is a perfect, marriage to the community. And so STEM I see as almost like a shortcut that we can use to solve problems that matter to us. but also solve problems that matter to lots of people. There's been a lot of black people who have contributed to the world of STEM, but have actually just not been recognised.
So as a science teacher in particular, one of the major impacts that we have in the community is the recent COVID pandemic, and some of the attitudes towards vaccines and masks and some of those things. And in my opinion, a lot of those attitudes came around because of a lack of scientific literacy. Science teachers, in my opinion, certainly contribute and help the community as a whole, because these students are able to go out in the real world, understand the information which is available to them, and make really key critical decisions based on their health and their communities as well.
So STEM means science, technology, engineering, maths. That's what it stands for. For me, it means creativity, it means innovation, and it means the future.
Representation's key. That's what's fundamental. If you can't see it, you can't be it.
When I went to my career teacher a number of years later when I was 15, he said to me, "Nara, what would you like to be when you grow up?" And I said, "Oh, I would like to do a that involves mathematics and logic."
Which comment didn't age well? I might have missed it, let me know.
Career teacher said to me was, "Nara, somebody of your physique should become a boxer." So I went home and I told my parents saying, "Look, my career teacher said I should become a boxer." And my dad said this to me, "You don't need anybody's permission to be a great mathematician."
So my name is Dwayne Brandy. My job role at the moment is Deputy Head Teacher at an inner city school in Greater Manchester. What was the biggest change for me was working a pupil referral unit. So that's when disengaged students who have been kicked out, suspended or permanently excluded from school, they were going to this facility. And I realised a lot of these children, and most of them were black, they weren't coming out.
Going into teaching as a black teacher, I was slightly worried about the reception that I would get. I actually cut my hair off because you hear these stories of these, black pupils having to go through a bunch of different legal systems and so on and so forth to get them the right to wear their own hair, right? However, when I got to the school I'm at the moment, we have a very diverse leadership team at my school. And one of the most important things that I saw in their uniform policy was the fact that they encourage their students to wear their hair in whatever way they want, whether it be for cultural, religious, or any other means.
STEM teachers are one of the most important things when it comes to future STEM talent. I think what's interesting, and in some ways it's frustrating, but in other ways has a really big upside, is that if you talk to most of the people across at least the UK population, their relationship with maths and their relationship with STEM is defined by the relationship they had with their teacher.
So the Teach First training program starts off with...
Yeah, so they're talking about, trying to get more teachers to, and I guess their strategy here is to get more teachers to influence more students. Sister's talking about some of the, some of the things about age, I think around topics about the, it's weird because you can't really say things now, or you can. Funny enough, let me just mute, it's going to be fast thing, I feel your things making some noise. Funny enough, I think Zuckerberg and them guys are saying that they're going to relax on certain things you can and can't say for whatever reason. But we couldn't talk about like certain kind of like pandemics and all this kind of stuff, and block stuff. So I remember we had to say things. But one thing I would say is getting children into science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but more so science in that sense, right? Biology and this kind of thing. Whenever things happen that is challenging, you can get a black Betterment perspective of someone who trained in the field. One of the challenges we face as a black community, big challenge, is there are people who are not educated in a certain area, giving their opinion. And sometimes they're right, but really what we want to have is someone whose life is dedicated to a particular profession, particular understanding. And because they practice black Betterment and they're connected to the black community, they feel obligated to give us the best information they have at the time, rather than people, not trusting the government, not trusting, which is, it makes sense, right? But at the same token, we want to get that kind of network going where, people who specialize in certain things can give us the best information as they know it, rather than us trying to like fill in the dark. So yeah, because, what's it say? Because TikTok has about to be banned, Facebook. Yeah, so I think TikTok's been banned for some reason, but I think Zuckerberg was also talking about allowing, I don't know, I think because maybe Trump got in power, so he's changed his tune on some fact-checking things, software algorithms or whatever. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, so okay, this video, I'll stop it there. Let's see if there's any more on this STEM thing. Let's see. Then they have a fantastic STEM. Try to get children into STEM, black children, which is STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I think it's a very important thing. We should really go on it. What is it? Sisters in STEM. Is that a long? Let's see what the sister says about STEM. This is important. This is a woman I see on her page sometimes. What she said.
Judge sitting in that chair. It's going to be an AI. It's going to be an AI algorithm that's going to determine your fate. I hope that you hear me, family. It's going to be an AI.
I think the sister's trying to predict where the future of court might be going.
Algorithm that is going to determine your fate when you go to court. And who's training those algorithms, huh? What training data are these algorithms utilizing? Does that training data have bias in it? Come on, family. Come on, family. That's what's going to happen. AI will be making a lot of decisions. AI is going to determine whether or not you get a loan for your car. AI is going to be determining whether or not you get approved for a mortgage. They're doing it right now. And you have your children majoring in health. Not in STEM, in health, in law, in psychology, in business, in political science majors. When literally we're moving into a STEM-based economy. If black people don't get in STEM, and people have been saying this, family, people have been saying this for the past 20 years, we're going to be locked out of the economy. AI is taking.
There you go, sister. There. Someone said about Africa. I think there was one STEM African lady. Let's see. Africa. Did I write there? What's this? Not that one. Not that one. I hope I did it. Yeah, I might not have done it, haven't I?
Remember?
Oh, it's there. I did it. Really.
One time in high school, I went to the staff common room to speak to one of our professors. He asked me, "What do you want to be?" I looked at him confidently and I said, "I'm going to be a computer scientist." All I heard was laughter. I heard one of the teachers say with a smug smile on his face, "Computer science is a man's world. You should go into something more womanly." I said to myself that I would never become a computer scientist. Fast forward to after I graduated from university, having not done computer science. I saw an ad and I decided to apply. This community is rewriting the story of many black college women around the world who are struggling to get into opportunities for STEM. I found a safe space where I could be everything that I had dreamed of being. A safe space where people who looked like me were encouraged and empowered to understand that they could do anything that they set their mind to.
And there's a theme there of black sisters and STEM. Yeah, I think there's a theme there of people not either being motivated or disparaged, but not seeing other people to give them that boost. So that's why we want to do this community, to get black children, but black people in general, into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Let's see if there's any more videos before we move on. Any questions from anyone? Let's documentary, color. What's this? No, STEM students. How? What's this on?
It's early on. Families, indigenous culture.
Oh yeah, talk about that's like a brown black collision thing. I won't play that now. But let's see, anything. Any questions? Is there a path for the diaspora who are in STEM to come to African continent and work? What about education? That's a good point. Could is there any one? Is there one path where people are going around the world to learn things to come back to fix up their countries? But is there any programs where you can go to Africa to work and promote STEM and use STEM technologies to improve the livelihood? That'd be good. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the topic. We can come back to STEM and children and stuff if you want. The first topic, black children in STEM. Join our community discussion on the benefits on getting black children into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. So yeah, sorry, we should be promoting and find better ways to do it, make it trendy. I found some rap or some kids, a kid rap about STEM. I'm just trying to make it more entertaining for kids. But find ways to make science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fun. Find cool things that can be done with it so the children want to be it. I think apps and that is a good way. That's something. But then science is, universal technology, blah, 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 blah. Good stuff. So let's now go to First topic, which is the importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping. All right, so let's see where we go. How am I going to start this one? So where does this come from? I think it comes from this. This is the first one I saw. Please forgive the foul language. It's case study time, so you're going to hear the average everydayer speaking the foul kind of language and like terrible stuff. But I saw this from. I'll play through it. I saw this. This is a European.
All the way 100. You know what I'm saying?
It says a white rapper freely using the N-word and he's promoted and protected by black people. Let's see.
Saying that shit, if a nigga don't like that, how he don't like it, and I'm active about it. Like I want to punch about it. Like Charlemagne, whoever the first nigga that say something about this shit on a live interview, nigga getting packed out about this shit. By me, not by nobody, by me. Like I want, like it's that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So really, the whole energy gonna change behind this shit. Like I really been humble, sitting in the back, cooling. You know what I'm saying? But if I feel, I don't give a fuck if I just feel animosity from you, nigga. It's up, nigga. Like. No, like you know what I'm saying? Like I can't if I feel that way, then you did something to make me feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just no weird ass nigga like that. Like, nigga, if you made me feel that way, I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So everything that comes from me is gonna be genuine.
So basically, there's a ginger European rapper, and he's talking about attacking anyone who says he can't use the N-word, and he mentioned people who normally complain about it. And he's surrounded by black men. I don't know what city he's from, who are co-signing, drinking with him, this kind of stuff, making him feel comfortable. Let's talk about his other follow-up. I don't know if it's a stunt or he generally this is whatever. Forgive the foul language, part 2.
Video, bro, and y'all heard anybody in that room say the N-word. Y'all heard if y'all's ears heard anybody say the N-word, y'all sick out your fucking mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody say the N-word around me getting packed up. But me, I'm a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say no N-word. I said nigga. What you talking about? And I'm around a bunch of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? And really like that. Really got on us. Really in the hood every day. Y'all marching up the wrong street. Y'all want to be Al Sharpton and MLK and all that. Man, y'all need to go by the courthouse. Y'all better walk up Main Street. Shit, y'all better go downtown somewhere. Cause these ain't the streets you want to be marching up. You know what I'm saying? 60 crib.
So I think there's a European guy they've let in some kind of gang or collective whatever, and he's saying that this ain't no Martin Luther King kind of march for you. We don't hear it like I want to say the N-word, nothing you can do about it. I am that. This kind of. So this is why education is important. Where things go full circle. First, Europeans will be calling Africans and black people the N-word. Then somewhere black people call themselves it as a daemon, I say they say, and then they made that trendy, and then white people want to say it back and free. What you're gonna find, remember the double dilemma that black people are disorganized and despised, and nothing works in black people's best interest. So all the derogatory terms that you use to talk about Europeans, like cracker, these kind of names, they won't want to call themselves that. No, they want to call themselves the N-word. Complimentary words like kings and black, they don't want to use that. No, sir, they don't use the N-word. And this is what it is. It's a game that no matter what happens, you're always going to be the laughing stock, unfortunately. So this is what it is. Let's look at more videos around this terrible topic. Gatekeeping. So in I think there was also staying on the N-word, same thing as well. There was also, let me open this for 4 seconds.
FBA.
So for those who don't know, there's this argument going on in America about who invented hip hop, and there was, I think, Puerto Ricans were saying that, well, at least Fat Joe was saying that hip hop is a culture that is 50% Puerto Rican and 50% African American. Many African Americans got offended by it, saying that actually the root of hip hop comes from American culture. There were people from Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, but they joined it when it started. But the roots come from America, and they showed all the kind of like the roots from the South, and then people rapping in old records and all this kind of stuff, dancing here and there. But then what happens is this is upsetting certain people. This kind of information, and what's happening now is the N-word. I was reason that as well. What happened was African Americans were saying the N-word in the homes for the comedy shows and the blaxploitation films. And then what happened is you had Caribbeans and Afro-Caribbeans and Afro-Puerto Ricans who, what they would have done is they would have been around African Americans and for the most part lived as African Americans or culturally as African Americans, and they would have adopted much of the kind of behavioral patterns. So they too would have said the N word. But what happened is because Afro Puerto Ricans are saying the N word, you would then get other Puerto Ricans. So the other type of Puerto Ricans is either Euro Puerto Ricans or native Puerto Ricans or Indian Puerto Ricans, I guess they call them, or native Indian, I don't know the word. So those are the three groups of the main groups of what Puerto Ricans might identify: white, black, and native brown. Right? And what happens, because the black ones were saying it and they were given a pass, then the brown ones will get a pass, and then the white ones get a pass, because they will quickly always go under the term Puerto Rican, whatever, right? So that's why you have people like Fat Joe who might identify more as a white or a brown Puerto Rican, I don't know what, right? And others who, they really want to say the N-word. But the problem is now, when you have people who are disagreeing with African Americans and calling them the N-word, and they're not being identified as black or identified as black, then it's now the original, the original fury of the word comes out. And that's why we say that, has anyone ever called you a king and argued with you? No. So we understand that words can have power, But let's see what they talk here anyway.
The movement is a joke. It's filled with nothing but radical, racist black people.
When like other brown, I guess, people call black people racist, just like when people use the N-word who are not black, whatever. When they don't understand white supremacy and the history of black liberation, this kind of stuff, they will use words incorrect and cause problems. So calling black people racist is definitely a problematic thing, but let's see what happens.
These rumors were made by radical black racists. Let's just say that. Okay? It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them.
Right.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
He also says, have you seen their leader? Now, he never mentions Tariq Nasheed, but we all know that that's probably who he's talking about. Now, this revolves around a conversation that he was having during an interview where he talked about the origins of hip-hop.
I think they're not happy with Tariq Nasheed because he's recently made a hip-hop documentary about the history of hip-hop, and some people are not best pleased that he's saying that it's an American art form, and they're saying it's a 50-50 art form, this kind of thing.
Been saying for years. And the shit just go, you believe Fat Joe said hip hop was Puerto Rican and black?
Says that the FBI...
Did it just loop? What happened there? Hold on. Or maybe that was the end of it. Hold on.
Says that...
Yeah. So this is the thing. So what we're trying to say here is, and big up to the black African Americans and stuff, for the black Americans with them. All over the black continent, all over anywhere black people make anything, you see a pattern of, and we're talking about gatekeeping at the moment, and this is words and cultural identity and stuff. You see people will come in and they will love the things you're doing, but if they don't respect you or respect what you're about, they will, and unfortunately, in say the Puerto Rican as well as the Spanish speaking, matter of fact, let me add to that. So I'm gonna just chat rubbish. Let's see. Let's do a deep. Let's hear what this brother says. Hold on.
Already a great book that talks about all the hatred that the Latino community has towards black people, and it's called Defectors: The Rise of the Latino Far Right and What It Means for America. This book needs to be read by every Latino, especially Dominicans. My people, I'm talking to you. The anti-blackness that we have in our community because of the trauma of being colonized by Spain and, mejorar la raza, and the whiter you are, the more you're respected. Paola Ramos does a great job of breaking that down. Honestly, in this book, I was not prepared for how much she goes in on Dominicans specifically. The amount of Dominicans who themselves are black and will say, no, I'm not U.S. black, I'm white black from the Caribbean. And I know I'm going on Dominicans right now, but this happens way too.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that if black people invent a culture or slang or anything like that, you tend to find that people won't necessarily like black people, blackness, but they will like the culture and they want to be around it. But eventually, what you see is they start trying to co-sign or claim it and and then remove black people from it. A very good example of that is rock and roll. You know, today you could talk to so many people about rock and roll, and they have no idea that rock and roll is a black art form. And even we did a case study about the other week where they made a magazine called Rolling Stones. Rolling Stones was named after a band. The band was named after a black African American word, Rolling Stones. But the magazine that was about African American music or rock and roll, sorry, the man who was in charge of it, he says he didn't want to have any black or women interviews in the magazine. He just want to have white men. So it's very interesting that there's a book about the history of rock and roll, but the man who owned it, he didn't want to have any black. He said it's not going to be good for the magazine. Also, MTV, that was meant to be rock and roll TV. That was the idea. They didn't let black people. It was Michael Jackson and Prince, and I think maybe Rick James to an extent had to really fight to get on MTV. I think what's his name? Michael Jackson made the song "Beat It" to have a very rock feel, just so it could be played on MTV, and they didn't want to play it. So this is the thing. This is what I'm saying about why Gatekeeping. What was the name of that book? Let me see. It is backwards. Let me rewind to get the name of the book. Give me 4 seconds. Say one more.
There is already a great book that talks about all the hatred that the Latino community has towards black people, and it's called Defectors: The Rise of the Latino Far Right and What It Means for America.
Defectors, the right of what he just said. There you go. So Defectors, just type that and find it. But yeah, so the thing is, the hatred that is in the Spanish, Portuguese speaking countries is another level, because funny enough, what we were, and remember we were talking about, we start with white people and non-black people, non-black identified people, whatever, using the N-word, and we're talking about gatekeeping and the importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping. You know, I'm someone, I believe, I believe the ideology of black nationalism, Pan-Africanism. I believe it's a good idea. All black people see themselves as one. But I also see the value of ethnic groups gatekeeping to make sure that unsynchronized black people from different places don't use their blackness, quote unquote, to undermine black people. And we're going to unpack how they do that and how it's done so it makes sense. But before we do that, let's look at something we teach here that I just saw another video for, which is, I'll read it out because I think it's red, but it's the same thing we talk about here, right? So for over 450 years, Latin American governments paid Europe to breed out their darkest citizens. Now we talk about this, called Ham's Redemption in Brazil. What's interesting, the way we talk about these guys, I don't know if they're fans of the show, but the way they put it, it's curious how we say it. I said it was called Black Men TO, I think I'm saying that wrong, a racial campaign to whiten the entire population. Then we see a picture of a dark-skinned Africoid Negro black woman whose daughter is of half black, one black parent, one white parent, herself marrying a European man. This is a technique that they push. It says Brazil's alone brought in 4 million Europeans, offering them free land, housing, and cash bonuses. So like we said before, that they invited Europeans to go to live in Brazil for free and get all these incentives because they didn't want it to be a black nation. So they pushed that. The scientists created charts claiming it took 3 generations with white to purify native and black blood. So they really wanted to find out what was the science of getting rid of blackness, and they realized that what they call miscegenation was the best way, rather than just killing people off. Limit what black people could do, offer guarantees for people who are lighter, and then eventually there'll be no dark people. Now, the reason we're saying this, because we said before, is all this contributes to an attitude towards blackness. It was predicted that indigenous and black people will disappear by 2012, and they were successful in Argentina, I think, but not in Brazil. European immigrants received better jobs, free transportation, and tax breaks, while blacks were banned from immigrating. And that's true. Blacks couldn't immigrate, and also limited to education and certain kind of privileges of land and stuff that was black people came with. The campaign worked in Argentina. The black population dropped from 33% to less than 1%. Many indigenous communities were apart, as light-skinned children were given more rights than the darkest. So they did the same to the day. Similar. And so that was. And then what was the last one I wanted to say? I'm just thinking if I can remember. I've got some of the videos. What was it? Latino. Not that one. Hams, yeah, Fat Joe, Afro. Okay, so yeah, so how we got here was we saw a European man, using the N word and that kind of stuff, and then he's been co-signed, and then we're showing that some people were trying to like take credit for African American stuff and not give African American credit. So we're saying there always is a value in gatekeeping and pro-blackness. So you minimize that, and also education on why. I think in England there was that guy, Dappy or Doppy, whatever. He used to say the N word in one of his songs, and he was empowered by black people to allow him, and it was maybe 10 years ago, so I can't remember. But this is what I'm saying, like having black betterment as an education is important, and black pride, because what will happen is how things work will go back. So we'll start with white people mistreating black people, using the N word, then we try to take it back, and then they can't say it, but then they end up saying it, and then you can't stop them for whatever reason. So it's a repeat, or it might be back in the day you couldn't have you had to have a black partner, then you didn't have to, and then you lose a lot of resources, time, and representation and community. And today we do the same thing. So this gatekeeping in all forms is very important, right? And let's see if I can also bring on the next part of gatekeeping, which is. So things like this. So this is not good, but this is more so vitriol. So
I'm African.
So this is another thing as well, where you have African Americans in America viewing the world as black, or viewing the black world as black, and open up the borders, fight for rights for Africans to come to, and Caribbeans to come to America. Because there's vitriol or longing to be with white people, then they want to separate. They want to benefit from what they might have done to get them in the country, but don't want to stay next to them. Then want to mock and stuff. This is problematic behavior. This is why some African Americans are gatekeeping, is making a delineation between African Americans and Africans, or African Americans and Caribbeans. Let's listen to some of the stuff.
I'm not black, I'm African.
Is that not black?
No.
Oh,
it's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I came in a plane, they came in chains. Yeah, I'm passenger in their cargo.
So once again, you're seeing what's this performative stuff, like people try to distance themselves from being identified as black or black, a kind of black, and they want a new kind of black, a civilized black or whatever, and they're willing to go to the descendants of the enslavers to make jokes about those enslaved. They never talk about thanks for them for allowing me to the country, or I understand why some of them might be going through hard times because of racism, Although we did see a video about the African actor who couldn't find a work, so he understood how racism worked, whatever. So this is what I'm saying about why you kind of need to check certain people, but also recognize ethnic differences for empowerment's sake, to make sure that you ain't having people just sabotaging progress under the guise of blackness. What else we got? There was a few others as well. What is this next one? I think this one, we played this last week as well. This is the same one.
Piss me off, especially African Americans. Now you see, there's
once again the same thing. A guy who's in America, or trying to be in America, or wherever it is, and then he's talking to a non-black person, European, and he's not best pleased with African Americans, and he's going to give his story. Whatever.
Sense of over entitlement and expectation.
Now, keeping in mind that a lot of this is also clickbait driven, in the sense of if you. And this works for black women as well, if you want to make fun of black women, because black people are, because of STEM, not being in charge of STEM and being able to create your own apps and your own algorithms, and people not willing to defend your own community and being this unity, not united, whatever. You can easily make fun of black people and it won't get shut down like it will other things, and you will get clickbait and you will get attention. So everyone's jumping on the back bandwagon, and we're going to unpack that as well.
Is that the world owes something to these people, right? And I say these people because it's now more of a mindset thing than an actual skin color, right?
Guys, you need to go and watch that whole video. I thought it was a joke. I kid you not. I started watching that video and I said it was an SNL skit. I thought it was a comedian cracking a joke and like doing a skit. The longer I watched it, the more I realized that, oh my God, this is real. It's actually a real video. Now, I think it's Nigerian because I had a feeling. I looked at this guy and said, the rhetoric coming out of his mouth, the kinds of things he's saying feel very Nigerian, like a Nigerian who thinks he's made it. He's enjoyed a little bit, gone to a nice school, gone to England or America or something, and he thinks he's somebody. That's what it felt like, because the breed of colonialism that we had in Nigeria and in other parts of Africa, British colonialism specifically, it did something to our brains. So that when guys manage to leave and go to another country, they think that they're somebody, especially better than the black people that they find over there. That's usually what happens. He may not be Nigerian, but he feels like one. What's so funny about these guys is that when they make these comments and do these little videos and they think that they're a little bit trendy, they never say anything about the ridiculous policies and laws that were put into place when black people got allegedly set free from slavery in America. The fact that when they got themselves up on their feet, their towns were bombed, like Tulsa, Rosewood, Lake Lanier, wiped these guys out. They never let these people rise, ever. 13th Amendment, you don't want to talk about that. Of course not, because that's modern day slavery. Redlining, all of the things that have been done to make sure that you cannot rise. Now, psychological damage, because you can't just say that we don't have to deal with that weight. They do. That does something to you. So you can't compare us as Africans to guys who do not know where their village is. I know where my village is. You know where your village is. That's a very, very different thing. You're never going to make a video like this about Ukraine. You're never going to make a video like this about Israel. You're never going to make a video like this about Japan. You're never going to make a video like this about anybody else that the United States sends billions to, who they didn't even have anything to do with the oppression that they had. But black Americans can't get reparations. Black Americans think that they're owed something. Hell yes, they're owed. They're owed a lot. They built the country. They are owed everything plus interest. What kind of nonsense is that? And who the hell are you to say what they should and shouldn't get? Go back to Nigeria or wherever you came from. Who are you to come to America and say that I'm a Nigerian and I do not approve that message and we don't claim him? I do not know where he's from, whether it's from another African country, but I cannot believe that that video is real. I'm shocked. Please, if he's Nigerian, we disavow that dude.
Yeah, so that's what we're saying about gatekeeping, but also checking and because what I mean. Let's carry on with because unfortunately with the algorithms, you're going to see more of the unsynchronized than the synchronized. Now this, what else? I think there was another video. You know this gentleman here. We covered it. Should we cover the Asian or the? Let's cover her first. This is a bit different.
In the light.
I don't know if she's woman as well, but this is like a rapper woman. I think she recently said something about Jay-Z, saying something about her nose or something. But I was into. I just thought, okay, this. I know she's a woman. She made money in rap and this kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, the whole BLM thing. We have challenges of BLM, but we understand that there's two things. There's BLM, as in the statement, and BLM, the organization. But let's see what the sister says.
Of God. We are made in the likeness of God, which is not our body, which is not our skin tone, which is why I don't support BLM, because that always perpetually tells you, hey, it's about your skin tone, it's about all the stuff.
Don't get me wrong, when people use like religion and divinity and God and this kind of stuff, it makes sense that yes, we're all one and that's more important. But it sometimes it's used in a way that it's very disparaging. It doesn't highlight what really is going on in the world. And I don't know if this woman's unwell or she's got some kind of spiritual calling. I don't know what's going on about. No, she's not black. She's from Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, them kind of places. For those who don't know her, she was one of the first like Asian rappers to kind of. I think she was kind of semi-signed by Jay-Z, and she was definitely around a lot of black crowd. You're looking at like early 2000s, maybe even late 99. I don't know, and I don't know if she's had mental problems or anything. I have no idea. I haven't seen her, but the fact that she brought up Black Lives Matter. I don't know if and I can only take it as a statement, as in the concept of Black Lives Matter.
Because of our skin tone. No, the spirit is the spirit, and it's of God, and that is, we are made in the image of God. Our spirit is made in the image of God. It is way beyond our color of our skin, the sex and the gender.
A person can say all this without mentioning Black Lives Matter, but I don't know why she would have to make that statement.
And all of the bullshit, what fucking postcode I live in, what my fucking bank account says, all of that is secondary. All of that is what my mind is capable of.
And we're going to cover that as well, like how black people react to certain things. Because like when I was going to speak at school, it's very easy to walk up to black people and say, it's not about your skin color, it's about love, or it's about God, or it's about this religion. It's like, yeah, it sounds nice, and that's a nice to have, you know. But the fact of the matter is, black people have been oppressed because of this phenotypical thing, this ancestral thing, this lineage thing. So to just like not deal with it and then go, we're all the same, or let's all hold hands, that is not how you fix it. That's why Black Betterment is so important, because it ignores all that kind of stuff and it puts emphasis on these things that people try to say are not important. Because if it wasn't important, they wouldn't have killed you for it. Aha.
Creating the prison.
So thank you, MAI, or whatever your name is. But once again, I don't know what she meant by BLM, but you know. But we're now going to go to another gentleman we've covered before. Similar thing about gatekeeping, and also checking people who are not from your kind of ethnic group when they try to you know, not cosplay, but be around you and then use it. So let's look at this gentleman.
In terms of
Once again, the same dynamic: a non-black, either Asian or white or whatever, asking a person of black skin or whatever it is. Photoshop is one hell of a tool. Yeah, of black skin, whatever it is, and asking about black women, why they do this. Obviously rage bait, and obviously black women are the least protected because obviously black people are disorganized. So when you're disorganized, you don't have priority of who you have to protect. But let's break this down. This is a red pill kind of guy.
attractiveness. All the way at the bottom. Now, are all black girls ugly? Of course not. There's some hot ones, but it's a minority. And
this guy's from Sudan, so his racial ethnic group might be Arab, Sudanese. I don't think he's Nubian. I don't think he's the others. I think Arab Sudanese are the biggest ethnic group there. They're the probably the youngest in population, as in the newest population. They're like a historical admixture, I think. But yeah, I suspect he's from that, and he's come to America, and he seems to have quite a lot of disdain for black people in general. And there's pictures of this gentleman, you know, messing around as a kid with white boys and sleeping in their beds and stuff. The whole lad culture thing. I've never heard him ever critique white people for racism or anything, or even mistreating or anything like that. So already we understand that some people from the continent, they go and they have that already you know, that they say the same talking point we heard from the last video.
let's be honest here. The average black woman's 187 pounds, loud, obnoxious, rude, fake hair. They've done studies on like a customer service, and black women rank the lowest for getting a customer.
Once again, a lot of this also is rage bait, because if he said this about Jewish women, they'll be shut down very quickly. I mean, he can't. I think he's been this platform for talking about Jewish people or something. So, you know, they learn that. So they go for the easy targets.
Service representative that's black, and then also waiting on a table of black women. Yep. So servers say they hate serving black women the most, and then people that call customer service say they hate dealing with black women the most. So it's like, bro, what the is going on here, man? And then on top of that, black women don't have a general respect for masculinity because a lot of them grow up in fatherless households. They grow up being told, your daddy ain't your ain't then you listen to the music ain't and it's this like continuous and very pernicious cycle of just constant.
So this guy's being clowned by lots of, you know, prominent black speakers, whatever, right? And obviously intellectually he does struggle to keep up with them, but he does come from like a big movement of like red pill men who, you know, struggle to find women or whatever it is, and they look towards people like him. I think they kind of look at people like him as like someone who was once a loser who no longer is identified as a loser. I think that is the whole appeal, like someone who struggled in life to be cool or whatever it is, but now they kind of get women or whatever it is. And I think that might be the appeal. But yeah, it's all the same talking points.
On men. So by the time she comes to you, she doesn't really have an appreciation or respect for masculinity, and most importantly, your authority. So she doesn't feel. So
we're looking at the topic of the importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping. And what brothers, individuals like this, I should say, is they come in the form of blackness, but they have no history in any kind of black struggles in the land they've moved to. They never talk about why or who caused them to leave the land they're coming from. They don't do anything to contribute to that land or where it is. And they always seem to align with the dominant society, the power society, which would be the whites or the Arabs, depending on where they are. So this is what you see, and then they're happy to use other black ethnic groups as they kind of like come up.
So she needs to submit to you and follow you. So these are just some of the issues that plague the black community. Again, I want to be clear about this. Is this all black women? No, but we can't sit here and lie and say that it's not something that permeates throughout the culture and isn't endorsed, supported, and most importantly, encouraged.
Yeah, so this is, I think, I mean, you name it, there's probably tons of videos of him saying that's the same thing, other people spewing the same kind of stuff. And this is why I think this is another one of similar thing, but different time, I think.
You guys are the least desired. Because if we looked at different points of data and use common sense and critical thinking skills, which a lot of just don't fucking have because you have glue in your head all the time and it seeps into your brain and you can't think critically, anyone would come.
One thing you have to understand is even if someone was sincere in what they're saying, the delivery and the tone they're doing shows you that they're the enemy of your group. And the reason why importance of racial, cultural, and ethnic gatekeeping is to understand that even though this guy might be black, Sudanese, whatever it is, he's using white supremacist talking points, and he's more favorable towards white supremacist or white people than it would be to black. So these people, they can easily be delineated. They can easily say, well, you're not actually from here. You don't have a stake in what we're doing. Like, you wasn't born here. So you can pull that card and say, well, who are you? What is your history? And what have you even done? You know, where are you from? What is it that you're doing for that place? So while you're cussing what's going on here, what's going on in your actual place where you're from, and what are you doing to fix that place? Because if where you're from was so super, you would be there, but instead you've left there and you're doing nothing there and doing nothing here in it. But yet you are constantly defending and using white supremacist talking points.
Common sense would realize, holy shit! Least desired on dating, least desired for marriage, high rates of having children out of wedlock. Those are undesirable. Then you add the fact that is literally weigh 187 pounds on fucking average, weigh as much as a man. I wouldn't want y'all either. And then to add to fucking cherry to the top, what happens when a nigga gets money?
Remember, rage bait is a thing. Say things you know it's gonna get. That's why also stoicism is important when you come across these people. Do not get angry. Do not rage bait. Know that unfortunately you have to kind of see them as compromise or maybe even the enemy in some sense, like doing the enemy's bidding. And it's almost and you reacting to them is actually what they want because the algorithm and the pay and all that kind of stuff. So always be aware of that.
Well, I'll tell you. I think Kanye West said it famously a couple years back. Leave your for a fucking white girl. When I go ahead and I look at the fucking NFL draft, NBA draft, who's there? Not black. I just see a bunch of Latinas and white girls. Because let me tell y'all the fucking cold hard truth. If a nigga gets some status and some money, you know what he's not doing? He's not dating a ratchet, stupid, black.
Yeah, so once again, you can put. I mean, these guys have been kicked off, whatever, and they made quite a bit of money on their platforms. But what I'm saying is, delineating from these guys is a thing, right? And we're talking about the importance of racial and cultural ethic. And what I'm saying is, these people, whether they're black or black ethnic from another group, or they're white or Latino, or whatever it is. You let them in and you let them have a bit of power, a bit of freedom. They can connect to a culture, and before you know it, they're overusing it, abusing it, or taking it or stealing it. That's why it's important to gatekeep, but also to delineate, to be clear on what is. You know, I believe in global blackness and the community of black people, but at the same token, you have to defend yourself to make sure that outliers don't come in and try to destroy what you're doing. That's what you have to be very aware of. So that's something that I mean, is that? Let me check if that's all the videos. It'll be 14 seconds. I think that might be. Oh, what's this one? Oh, this was this was about the Latin one. This is important. Let me play this one. This when we're talking about the types of Latin and so let's set this one.
Give us so much.
What I'm saying is all that's going on. So much is going on. So much anti-black self-hate in some regards, or just black hate in some regards, and that's why being pro-black, marrying black, and gatekeeping things that are black, regardless of what ethnic group you're from, is important. Because unfortunately, whenever someone can jump ship, they will, and that's why you can't give. First of all, I don't recommend anyone, shouting the N-word, whatever. But that's why now you're getting these kinds of things, these kinds of behavior.
All the way 100. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shit, if a nigga don't like that, how he don't like it, and I'm active about it. Like,
where you get ginger white people saying, "I want to say the N-word," and if anyone tries to stop me, I'm gonna fight them. And me and my N-words around me are gonna, they agree. Yeah. So what I'm saying is gatekeeping, pro-blackness, all that good stuff. That's how you tackle it. You see, and it's important that you understand what a person stands for and what you stand for, so you can know if you can work with someone. But unfortunately, it's very easy to infiltrate the black community and self-sabotage. So you need to have that. That's why when I did the work I do, I was asking people like, "What's your views on black family, black health, and black economics?" When they start shaking and baking, then I know can't work with them. Yeah, that's another thing you have to remember as well, that you're allowed to historically, whatever, mention black people struggling, but you're not allowed to mention black people coming together to fix. So that's where where you can actually demonize, a word, but you don't allow that word to angelize or whatever. Who knows? So very interesting things. There you go. Did you ever see this Ginger White lab says anything that's offensive about Jews? No, that's what I'm saying. Once again, remember we're talking about STEM as well. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Until you start owning your own apps and stuff, and I'm approaching some guys that they said they need help building a black app, but until you start building your own stuff and your own algorithms, and this European gentleman, this ginger guy, he was saying that he doesn't want to hear Al Sharpton and these guys saying he can't do it. So, yeah. But what I was saying is, until you're creating your own apps and stuff and your own thing, you're at the mercy of other people, isn't it? And also it's important. That's why, like, one of the challenges of problems, especially here in the Caribbean community, from what I've seen, is children haven't been raised to be pro-black. It's just that simple. Like they've been raised to be kumbayaris or whatever, and that's why it's important that we find ways to teach black betterment. Black betterment in itself is that rebranding of an important concept, because if you can't, if you don't, and we're going to cover this when I cover the and this, I know I think seems I was leading to dating or whatever, right? But one of the arguments I always put when it comes to black families is, when people talk about preferences and not want to marry this or whatever, one thing that's very important is those brother and sister, the couple, they did the baby test where they asked babies, the ugly baby, the handsome baby, and the pretty baby, whatever. And they did that in England and Canada and in French and Spanish speaking countries. And across the board, everyone said the black one was the ugly one and the white one was the pretty one, right? So if you're saying that is something that is just embedded from a young age, and now you're going to try to say that black men have a preference, that it's just preference, then we can't believe that. That's why, unfortunately, you have to have black betterment as a branding, as a lifestyle, as something you teach your kids, and it has to be black unity. So when we're talking about get black people into STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, it's to help themselves and their family, but also to pick a black partner, but to also to do activities that are going to benefit the black people. How you can use technology to actually benefit black people. Raven makes apps. Maybe he could do a stream showing us how to code. Well, sure. Like, funny enough, I'm actually teaching at the moment, but I'm always happy to do courses on how to do the things I can learn, like, whether it's sound engineering or app development or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Whatever. But ultimately, it is about creating networks where we can get more of a plethora of skill sets, but also the individual task of how are you raising your children, how are you raising your nieces and nephews, what are you trying to get them into, and awareness. Like, if you do not teach your children to be pro-black, that strengthens the chance of them being anti-black. And remember, we tried to show you about in the Latin community where they have an ideology. They have a word called, whatever it's called, something last or whatever it was. I don't speak Spanish or whatever, but the word means improve the race by marrying white. Yeah. So if you have a culture where not only was the government doing it, but the propagandists are all doing it, and now everyone does it by automation, and they know the words and they know not to come home with a black person. And if you're black, then you know that we need to have the black betterment as a lifestyle to teach, to tackle that. You see? So, and that's another thing. Even though I'm telling everyone to teach children STEM, I want and all these good ideas to learn. Before the STEM has to be black betterment, STEM, black economics. That way you know that because they are grounded and connected to the community, they're never going to try to abandon and leave. I think I even had a video about, I think it was last week we were talking about that. Like, I think one of the leaders were talking about in Africa, wanting to make sure that, we talk the brain drain. Yeah, brain drain. We were talking about last week, I think. You see? Well, think of that as a community standpoint. The brain drain, the community standpoint. There you go. Yeah. So that's definitely an idea to teach. And one thing to get youth centers halls out where Black people with skills come and teach children and try to make it somewhat fun or whatever it is. Or at least let's have a discussion about this. Like, I think if you're not deliberate in what you're trying to do, it's not going to happen at all. So yeah, that's one thing. Let me see if there's any other videos. Now, in fact, let me go back. Hold on, let me give it some stuff. So we're going to recap on what we've done today. So we started, the first topic we're talking about was the second topic in reverse order. Black children in STEM. Join the community discussion on benefits on getting Black children into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We're discussing that, with a lot of our parents, they might not necessarily be aware of these important tasks and where the future might be, so they're not going to necessarily know how or want to push children down that way, but we say there's definitely a value in it, and how, everything's technology driven now, so you kind of want people to be aware of technology or into engineering or some kind of maths, to be able to use these particular skills to navigate the world. So that we were talking about the importance of STEM and how to try to get Black children interested and why they might be. We covered that. Sometimes not seeing Black teachers do it, they're not motivated by it. But this is a broader question for brothers and sisters in the community. Like, how do you get these tasks more appealing out there? And also, Brother Foster was talking about pro bono, like people with skills such as myself, to give up time to train, and I'm more than happy to do it. Maybe he can do it as well. I believe he's also into STEM. So yeah, these kinds of things. Are you guys having jokes in the forums? Brother Foster always testing the case study of behavior pattern. Cool. What else? And then the next one, let me get rid of that. And was it the importance of racial and cultural and ethnic gatekeeping? Join our community discussion on the benefits of gatekeeping. So yeah, we were also talking about when is it important to actually gatekeep and what type of things should you gatekeep? We looked at a European, I guess, rapper, or I guess he was a rapper, yeah, using the N-word, but not only using the N-word, showing the chest, meaning like, I'm going to say it because I'm one. And if any Black people, whether they're like, protesters or, Martin Luther King or Al Sharpton, whoever, I'm going to attack them, and my Black guys have got my back. So that, and then he's surrounded by many Black men who co-sign that. Once again, you can tell none of those Black people, they were born with any form of Black pride or Black betterment or pro-Blackness. That's why it's important. They have no idea what they're doing. They're redoing what's happened in the past, training white people to shout the N-word at Black people. We've done that, doesn't work. Happened in England with Doppy or whatever his name was, a rapper from one of them kind of groups, and he said the N-word, and he would say, well, I've had a child with a Black person, and so, I've got a kind of past, whatever it is, all this kind of, once again, sexual access to Black people sometimes empowers non-Black people to be able to slum and use derogatory terms towards Black people. I always say that it's important to understand that, unfortunately, Black people are collectively inadequate. And what I mean by that is when these Black people, Black men, marry... in fact, I even saw something. What did I see? When these people, when they marry Europeans, it's an individual mindset, and people go, you can't change the individual mindset, blah 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 blah. But then, what happens is, let me see if I can find it. That European that they marry, even though they marry them, they always support. They never support reparations, so it shows you that they think of the collective needs of Europeans. Look at that! I'm just playing this video.
You were my slave, I'd let you in the house.
What?
I'm just saying.
So this is what some of the kids are doing now. They can make jokes about slavery when they're trying to online chirps Black people, whatever. This is why you have to teach them to, have self-love and not entertain this kind of behavioral patterns. They just put hands on people, whatever. I don't know. Video. What else we got? See if there's anything else we missed. Let's see if there's anything. There's some. This. Yeah. So it's interesting. So when you have videos like this, right? This one says why only date white women and this kind of, and then this man will be Caucasian and all this kind of stuff in America, whatever. But what they don't tell you is like this kind of stuff video of like later on how when communities are not unified and black people haven't recovered, you're causing more problems by racial showcasing. And I think this woman's got a testimony of them.
On the topic of race, I think that this is a great story time opportunity to talk about my upbringing. I have a black mother and a white father. Growing up, I didn't know that I was different, but I knew that something was supposed to be a secret. Trigger warning, this is about racial passing and my experience growing up in my hometown back in the day. We moved from another state, and my grandma, who's white, she kept telling me, you can't go around telling people that your mom is black. You have to tell them that that's the nanny. When you go to school, like, don't mention your mom. It's like, why? I remember asking her why. And she was like, because it's gonna be harder for you. They're gonna treat you differently. They're gonna put you in stupid classes and all this stuff that she was telling me. But I knew for my grandmother, it was more of a social aspect. She didn't want people knowing that her grandchildren were like half black. In this elementary school I went to, I noticed that bubble fountains, not just like a small one and a big one, but it was like a small one and a big one and then another small one and a big one next to them. And it was always near the bathrooms. And I always questioned, why is there...
Anyway, the sister goes on to talk about terrible stuff, but the moral of the story is, this is what we're saying. Like, you have to, you have to kind of prepare people. But once again, it's probably best you don't you marry within your group until you sort out these problems. Also, we're talking about behavioral patterns in public. There's all these kind of sites out there where there's two black women with two European husbands, whatever, and they're talking about wife swapping or something. Because we know you ain't got it. Let me mute this music before it things me. Sorry. And that is they're doing this kind of like, I don't know if it's role playing, like let's swap whatever. And these are tons of these kind of sites that's encouraging black women. There's one saying black women looking for white men, and then there's obviously one saying white men looking for black vice versa, whatever, right? So all this kind of slumming, racial showcasing stuff. I think all this is coming. This is all getting like muddy in the water, and you're not getting clarification on some of the most important things in the black community. And that is black families, and also making our kids have self-love. Once again, I don't know if I think of all the communities, we might be the ones with the lowest self-love. That's why it's important to try to have that kind of guidance. So we were tackling about gatekeeping and that kind of stuff, and what to gatekeep, and when it's important to racially gatekeep, ethnic gatekeep, and culturally gatekeep, and because the self-hate ones keep going. And then what else we did? So I'm just checking if there's any other videos I haven't played. This video is quite good. This is an English film. There's one. Is there before I go? Is there any kind of videos? Oh, this is. Have you seen this one? This is another one. This is
my really dear friends.
Oh, I think you might know more. This is unfortunately a American football guy who passed away, and he was married to a European woman. But I think she's out. Her and her daughter or something. There, like the daughter was adopted, as in it's not his daughter. It's a white lady, whatever. And I think they're going on using and selling books about his life, and like this woman is only known because she married this guy, but she's revealing a lot of his family problems or stuff that he listens to.
And we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was Very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue.
So she married some guy. She's obviously made all this money from him while he's passed away. And then she's found out that maybe he was taking drugs or had some kind of issue or whatever. And then she wants to do all this in a diary or a book or whatever, or interviews. I don't know if that's something. Is this not something that is in our culture we can really respect that? Like, and she also had the family sign an NDA at the casket that she didn't want anyone taking pictures, or they had to sign an NDA before they came to see them. So I don't know, but this seems very unfortunate. I don't know the brother's story. Don't know much about him as a player, but yeah, this is something I'm hoping sisters will never do this kind of stuff.
So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And
so why would you then come on TV after his death to say this is not, I don't know, maybe I'm from a different, I don't know where she's from, maybe I'm maybe a different culture, I don't know, but is that what you do when someone's died?
he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain, but it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known.
Yeah, I can't co-sign that. I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, this is not cool. And this is slightly different, but this sister, we're supporting her on her channel. Yeah, where is she? And she just, before I go, I'll play one of her videos. She was talking about England, very important history about England, and when people ask you to leave if you're from England, where is she? I had it somewhere. Somewhere. There we go. Let's have a look at that.
White and English to truly be considered a real Brit. This is the kind of nonsense you hear from people like Nigel Farage, people who are anti-immigration and want to act like the only people that can be here is white English people. So let's talk about it. So the majority of white English people who are in the UK today are known as Anglo-Saxons. Anglo-Saxons are two different tribes, right? And they come from Scandinavia and Western Europe, Germany, the Netherlands, etc. They came around maybe the 5th century. But do you know who was here before them? The Romans. Now, a lot of us learnt about the Romans when we were in school, right? But what teachers didn't tell us were that the Roman Empire included Africans, North Africans to be exact. So there were Arab Africans and there were Black Africans that came here. They built roads and they built Hadrian's Wall. So Romans were here for about 300 years. What that technically means is that Black people were here before the ancestors of the majority of people who live in the UK today. And then if you really want to deep it, England already made the British Isles in the Caribbean, so places like Barbados and Jamaica, they were already English colonies before there was even a Great Britain. Great Britain didn't become the United Kingdom until the 18th century. And when you really want to think about what has made Great Britain, and England, England, it's all because of migration and immigrants. There's never been a time that this place has never been multicultural. Even castles were introduced.
Me up the sister, I was just giving people some history. Some people try to tell you certain things you have. So we did say we're going to approach her and try to help her on her channel. Big up that sister there. So, family, we're coming to the end. We've hit 1.5 hours. So, but we have a guest. We big up, brother. Anything you like to say, brother Kojo, while you're here, and anyone else in the forum? In the forums. I think you might be mute, but I think brother's muted. Well, if he gets time, he can before we go. But we're gonna leave quite soonish. I need to get ready and get ready tomorrow. But any questions in the group, you can. But today we cover, and we're gonna cover again, Black children in STEM. Very important. It's not maybe the most super fantastic fun topic, but it is important, and that is the science, technology, engineering, and maths, and trying to get children in that way. And maybe network of people can make that more alluring, more appealing. It's super critical, super important. And obviously the importance of racial and cultural and ethnic gatekeeping, why it's important to gatekeep so people don't come and steal undermine or just destroy what you're doing. So family, I'm going to leave. I don't know if there's anyone else. We want to big up brother Kojo in the house. Big up Kushti Kazmex. Let's go for the thing. Big up Mene Goddess. It's good to see you. Big up brother Foster. Big up Dominic, brother Dominic, very important contributor. Big up Ease B. Big up RGB Tech 16. And big up, I think that might be everyone who made comments. Also, everyone who's in the background and listening in future time. Whenever you want, you always want to jump in. If you want to pick a topic, let us know. But we're going to leave now. Hope you've learned something today. But if not, hopefully you'll learn something next week. Check in next week. If not, to all Black Betterment and to Black Betterment to all. So I hope you had a good time, and we're going to end now. Go, go, go. Big up, family. At the end of the show. Oh.